Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about a recent U-turn of Andhra Pradesh government as far as its stated population policy is concerned. Now, recently in a meeting, Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh N. Chandrababu Naidu, he has stated that Andhra's new population policy is going to offer 30,000 for third child of a parent and 40,000 if they opt to have the fourth child. Now let us try to understand the background of this entire topic. So this is a reflection of a major policy shift related to the stated population policy of Andhra Pradesh government. Announcement was made at Narsanpeta, that is in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh, during a regional sanitation program. It also marks a dramatic reversal from the earlier family planning policy. You know that in 1990s, when N. Chandrababu Naidu used to be the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, that time he was very much vocal and vociferous about family planning. The reason was because the total fertility rate of Andhra Pradesh was quite higher at that time. And now the policy shift is largely on the account of decline in the TFR, that is the total fertility rate. So what is total fertility rate? How it is related to the change in policy? We are going to discuss in the later part of the video. Government now views population growth as an economic necessity. So that is how we can understand the change in plan. Now, what Chief Minister has promised. So first of all, for families who opt to have more number of children, there is going to be a provision of direct cash incentive. Now, what kind of cash incentive? So as per the preliminary data, 30,000 cash would be given for the birth of third child in the family. Similarly, on the birth of fourth child, 40,000 would be given to the couple. Immediate cash payout will be after childbirth. That means people will not have to wait for receiving this cash. They will not have to run from pillar to post in the search of this money. It would be dispersed to their account immediately after the birth of child. This also is building upon other scheme where earlier government has proposed in its draft statement that 25,000 will be given for the birth of second child in a family. Now, what basically this entire policy shift states? It states that Andhra Pradesh government now believe that children are going to be its real wealth in the future. That's what Chief Minister also has stated, that children are our asset. Population is the real wealth of the future. So why children and population is going to be the real wealth of future? Because you know that these children, when they will grow, they will enter the workforce, and workforce is the backbone of any economy, whether it is a state economy or a national economy. So higher the percentage of workforce in the population, more contribution they would make to the development of the state, and demographic dividend can be reaped by Andhra Pradesh in the coming future. Government now consider children as economic resource precisely because of this reason. Their contribution to the economy, their contribution to the industrial development, agricultural development, they also are considered as national assets. Because when you talk about the total fertility rate, it is not only declining in Andhra Pradesh as standalone, but also we see a general decline at the national scale, at the India's scale. So future workforce contributor, because they are going to be, that's why they are the asset or future. Now, why the policy change? Earlier, as we have stated, 1990s, N. Chandrababu Naidu, same person, chief minister of the same state, was aiming for family planning, encouraging people to opt for family planning, have less number of children in the family. And now he has made a sudden U-turn, it seems, and now asking people to have higher number of children. And it is rooted in the basic demography, basic population geography, and that is the declining of fertility rate. If you look at the demographic trend of Andhra Pradesh and you compare 1993 and the recent year, in 1993 TFR was 3.0, while currently it has reduced to just 1.5. If you look at the value of TFR, the value of 2.1 is considered as the replacement level fertility. In simple term, if you understand, if the TFR of any given geographical region is 2.1, that means the population would neither increase nor decrease, it would remain kind of stagnant. Now, if definitely TFR, when it falls below 2.1, it means that population would start to decline. If TFR is above 2.1, population would be expected to increase. So if you compare 3.0 in 1993, that means TFR is quite high above replacement level of population. That means Andhra Pradesh population was continuously increasing. Now, let us try to understand the concept of TFR also. What is total fertility rate? In simple term, we can explain it as the average number of children that is born to a woman during her reproductive lifespan. So, where 1.5 in the case of Andhra Pradesh clearly indicates that compared to the earlier decades, now women of Andhra Pradesh are having less number of children. and it indicates that the birth rate has been falling down for quite some years, and it means the birth rate is falling down, and people who are already are in the workforce, after a couple of years they will enter the retirement age. When they enter the retirement age, they would make up what we can call as the dependent population. So percentage of dependent population is expected to increase in the future, and a percentage of dependent population increases, and at the same time, if the workforce keeps on shrinking, a situation would come when majority of revenue or resource of the state would be spent on taking care of this dependent pool. That means we can say taking care of the elders as such. More expenditure would go out on the social welfare schemes, social benefits and all that. And that means due to this increased elder dependency, the development of the state, the economic development of the state would suffer. Not only that, Andhra Pradesh, which is also considered as the powerhouse of the Indian economy because of its industrial development, that to some extent will also suffer. Let us try to understand how future demographic concern is seen in the Andhra Pradesh, in the case of Andhra Pradesh. So government has made a projection here that by 2047, nearly 23% population of the state will be above 60 years. Above 60, that means we can consider them to be dependent population. Possible consequences would be labor shortages. You will not have an adequate number of people who would be willing to work in the industries or in the farmlands and such. And if you try to imagine, there is a labor shortage. That means you have to pay higher wages. When you pay higher wages, that means you are losing on the competitiveness. So many other many other countries of Southeast Asia, they would take advantage of it, and that's where we can say the industrial economy of the Andhra Pradesh would suffer. That means overall slower economic growth would result in, and increased expenditure on pension and healthcare would be seen, that would further burden the state exchequer. That is the concern with which the government of Andhra Pradesh has taken a decision to reverse and has taken a U-turn compared to its demographic policy. Now let us try to understand Andhra Pradesh versus India and make a comparison. Mean average age of Andhra Pradesh is much more higher than the average India's age, and the difference is almost of 4 years. As we can see, the mean average age of Andhra Pradesh is 32.5, while average age of India is just 28.4. So what can we what can we understand from this data? The data clearly indicates that in compared to India, Andhra Pradesh population is aging at a faster rate, and this is also a worrisome trend. Now, taking all these into consideration, government of Andhra Pradesh has come up with a life cycle population policy that is dependent upon 5-stage population care approach. These stages are maternal health care support, that is the first thing. So, to ensure that infant mortality rate, child mortality rate, maternal mortality rate, all these can be reduced or minimized, and TFR can be increased. Second, child nutrition assistance. We know that even after being born healthy, due to the shortage of nutrition or due to inadequate nutrition hunger, we can say, many children die before they attain 5 years of age. So as if you look at the current data, it is about 26 children per 1,000 of live birth are dying because in the age group of 1 to 5. So that is also Andhra Pradesh is trying to reduce. Then child education benefits, because if you try to think why Andhra Pradesh government is trying to encourage people to have more children, because these children then after 10, 15, 20 years would enter the workforce, and only they can have a significant contribution to the economic development if they are properly educated. So that's why this is also that state government has to work upon. Parental leave policy, so that it is easier for parents, both father and mother, to take care of children in the early age, and fertility support system would also be provided to the expectant mother. Apart from that, several additional benefits have been proposed as an incentivization measure to increase the birth rate. These are 1,000 rupees monthly nutrition allowance for third child up to 5 years of age. Free education for third child up to 18 years. That means all the way up to education, higher education institutions, we can say higher education, the children, third child would be able to get free education. A state-backed fertility clinic for those people who are having problem in conceiving child. Expansion of Talliki Vandanam scheme was an old scheme that Andhra Pradesh government used to run. They are trying to now further expand it and provide more cash incentive to the expectant parent as such. Now there is a significant reform in the parental leave. For example, to support working family, the leave of up to 12 months will be approved by the state government for the parents. These are the proposed leave benefit. It also includes mandatory paternity leave for father. This is a model that we have seen being used in or being followed in the Scandinavian countries, where Recently, government of Finland, government of Denmark, they have stated that when we talk about the leave, these leaves are generally granted to the mothers. These are maternal leaves, but now equal participation should be for both father and mother in taking care of child, especially in the early age, and that's why the provision for both paternity leave for father and maternity leave for mother has been provision, and the same thing is being followed by the current government of Andhra Pradesh. So in conclusion, what we can say that in the speech, Chief Minister of State has unveiled a new demographic strategy. This demographic strategy is a clear indication of shifting from population control to population growth. And this is something similar to what we are witnessing in China as well, where you have one child policy followed by China earlier, and now they understand that they are going to face demographic curse because of the shortage of labor force. So they are encouraging people to now have more number of children, and its adverse effect we can see in countries such as Japan, South Korea, Italy, where year on year basis number or the population of the country is continuously declining, and that is again because the TFR of these countries are far below 2.1, that is the replacement level. So Andhra Pradesh does not want to have similar same future. They want to change this, and basically do not want to compromise on the national economic development, state economic development. Policy designed to combat aging and workforce decline, emphasis on children as future economic strength. This has been emphasized with government, and thus Andhra Pradesh could become a model for other low fertility Indian states in future as well. Because again, to emphasize, Andhra Pradesh is not the only state which is having this problem and will have this problem in future. Many other states of India would follow the suit of Andhra Pradesh. And if the model or the demographic policy adopted by Andhra Pradesh right now really becomes successful, it can be then followed by and copied by other states also. So that's all for this particular video. I hope you got the idea about the concept of total fertility rate, how it has seen a change in the last couple of decades in Andhra Pradesh, and how it has led to the U-turn in policy, demographic policy, population policy of the state government. That's all for this particular video. Thank you very much.